Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. Today, we are looking at a super spicy standard deck. Yeah, a super spicy standard deck called Mono Black Control. Recently took MTGO user FNMM, so many tongue twisters in this instant deck tech, to a 5-0 finish in a standard league. So congrats to FNMM on their finish with the deck. Quick reminder before we break it all down, if you like this deck and want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the subscribe button, the like button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. Anyway, let's break down Mono Black Control for standard. So, the idea of the deck is it plays a few creatures and a ton of removal. All the creatures it does play are super resilient. So, you got 4 Relentless Deads, the old 2-mana 2/2 that is really hard to kill. Whenever it dies, you can pay a black to get it back to your hand, and if one actually does die, a future Relentless Dead can get it back from the graveyard when it dies. So you can kind of make an infinite amount of blockers with Relentless Dead. It's just really hard to get rid of permanently. So resilient threat number 1, Relentless Dead. Number 2, Hangerback Walker. Hangerback Walker, when it dies, of course, you get a bunch of 1/1 Thopter tokens, so kind of a 2-for-1 built into an efficient 2-drop. And then for Erebos' Titan, a really powerful card. It reminds me a little bit of Phyrexian Obliterator. Not in how it plays, Obliterator is better, but Erebos' Titan is a 5/5 with upside for only 4 mana, is pretty powerful. The problem is it has 3 black mana symbols, so it's really hard to play unless you're mono black. The good news is this deck is mono black, so you don't have any problem casting your Erebos' Titan on time. So a bunch of resilient threats. Aside from resilient threats, you just play a ton of removal. You are very overloaded on removal. 4 Grasp of Darkness, 2 Ultimate Price to kill creatures in the early game, just the best removal in the format. For Ruinous Path, not only can kill a creature, but can also take down a Planeswalker, which is pretty relevant. It's the only real good way of killing a Planeswalker in this deck. Plus, you can awaken it and use it as another finisher. And then Blighted Fen is a Diabolic Edict attached to a land, which is a pretty powerful effect. The opportunity cost is just so low. Since you're mono black, you don't have many restrictions on your mana base, so you can really get away with playing the 4 colorless lands and using them in the late game to take down even more creatures. Plus, there is benefits to keeping your opponent's board clear, especially with Erebos' Titan, which is indestructible if your opponent doesn't have any creatures. Then there's, of course, 3 Languishes, one of the most important cards in standards, the Sweeper, and in this deck, it's really sweet. It's almost a Plague Win. Yes, it'll kill your Relentless Dead, but you can get it back to your hand. Yes, it'll kill your Hangerback Walker most of the time, but you'll get a bunch of Thopters. And it won't kill your Erebos' Titan because it's a 5/5, so most of the time you'll wipe away all your opponent's stuff and still leave some value behind on your side of the battlefield. Then there's some card draw. You got 4 Read the Bones, obviously better than Painful Truce in a mono black deck. And then 2 Ob Nixilis, kind of does everything. Can kill a creature, can draw you some cards, and it can finish the game with the ultimate in a relatively timely manner, so it's another way of winning the game as well. The rest of the main deck, 4 Duresses, and then mana base, 21 Swamps on top of those Blighted Fens that we already talked about. In the sideboard, we get some really spicy creatures. 2 Kalitas Trader I've got. I'm not sure, but I've seen a lot of black decks playing this in the sideboard. You would think you would want some number in the main deck, but I guess it dies to Languish. Maybe that's the reasoning. And then an Eldrazi package. I guess when you're planning on going really long, you can bring in Oblivion Sower and Ulamog. Use Oblivion Sower to ramp into the Ulamog, and Ulamog, pretty hard to deal with. Then there's some Transgress the Minds in the sideboard. Another Ob Nixilis, some more removal, the 4th Languish, and 3 Flaying Tendrils, so you can go up to a total of 7 sweepers in the deck. If you're playing against something that's playing a bunch of little creatures, clogging up the ground, good way to deal with that. Anyway, that is Mono Black Control for Standard. That has been our Instant Deck Tech. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.